What is up, world? What is up, world? What is up, world? You are in tune to the world famous Know It All podcast. And of course, you have your player partners here with you. Big Tate. What's popping, Tate?
What's up, Ma? What's up, Big G, man? I'm just sitting here waiting on, game 2 tonight, boy, man. My boy JT didn't do nothing the other day. He about to give Golden State the business tonight, and the Celtics going home up 2-0.
Wow. Okay, all right. Big G, what's popping, man? How you doing, G? You came into it bumping a little Wu-Tang, man. I know you feeling it. What's good?
Is it real, son? Is it really real, son? Is it really real, son? Is it really real? That's what I was playing. That Method Man, man. That Method Man, I have you on crank, man. But I feel good, man. I feel good. Had a productive day so far, and I'm ready to get it in and talk about these issues we got going across all sports, man.
Oh my gosh, we have so many things to talk about. But before we do, make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure you like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. So when we do go live, you'll be able to get those notifications and know that we are here ready to give it to you. And before we get started, man, as always, we definitely want to give you a little bit of this. And we are back here with the Know It All podcast, man. And we've got a lot of sports stories that we just want to jump right into, man. The first one being, G, we talked about this off camera, man. And, I was on the BTSC podcast with Tate here, and we spoke about it for about 15 minutes. Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
So the season is coming up. We're OTAs is just about over. We're starting practices and everybody's getting ready. Deshaun Watson has been there faithfully throwing the ball, you know what I'm saying? And it's getting close to everyone around the situation saying it's getting close to the time where the NFL is going to make a decision. They're going to take it to the private arbitrator because there's a private judge involved. NFL is not the end all be all in this case. So therefore, they can't protect the shield the way that most people think that they could protect the shield because a private judge is going to decide the ruling on this case. G, I just want to know for you, I'm going to say my point and then we'll go with Tate. How many games do you think Deshaun Watson's going to get, man?
Deshaun Watson is done for the 2022-2023 NFL season, bro. Deshaun Watson won't play it down. In my opinion, his lawyer some of the statements that came out by his lawyer is just horrible. I mean, he was talking about how can he get sued for having happy endings? So you admitted guilt of what he was already doing and didn't even think twice about what ramifications that would have with him moving forward. And I think that once the legal stuff goes down, I mean, he might settle out of court with some of the cases that's going on out of court. But once it goes down, Roger Goodell coming with that hammer, bro. And Deshaun might not see it down in the 2022-2023 season. I think Cleveland fans need to get it in their head now that this brother might be canceling Christmas.
You do know that Roger Goodell ain't the end all be all on this, right? There's an independent judge that's going to make the ruling on this case.
I hear you say that, bro. But let me tell you something. Roger Goodell rules the NFL with an iron fist. So they can have some outside whatever.
I said this in the BTSC. Me and Ma had this saying. I told him, there's an independent arbitrator decision maker, but it's been said already. If Roger Goodell don't like what the punishment is, he can overrule it.
Correct. Yeah,
he can overrule it, but the Players Association ain't gonna have that. Honestly, here's the deal. I believe he's going to get 4 games. Reason why I believe he's going to get, they gave Zeke 6, right? Zeke got 6, and that's the noise that you've been hearing a whole bunch of chirping chatter from Cowboy fans all week. Like, if Deshaun don't get something and Zeke got 6, this is horrible. You know what I mean? And definitely a different thing. They had some film on Zeke, if I'm thinking right. But still in all, here's the thing that we're saying, right? This man has they have no legal ground on Deshaun at all. Nothing. There's nothing that they could do. He broke no laws, no criminal laws at all, right? So much so that they try to run it up the flagpole to the highest court to get them to take the case, and they didn't take it. So what that says to me is there's not enough legal stuff to be able to prosecute in this case, right? Then on top of that, he just announced that he was going to pay $100,000, and me and Tate talked about that. That's an NDA. If he's paying $100,000 to 22 women, that's $2.2 million, right? And they're going to have to sign an NDA, right? And then these other 2 came out right after he announced that he was going to pay another $100,000 to these women. So these other 2 came out. Now, 4 of those women that in the 22, in the original 22, have all stated, and some of their family members have stated, hey man, they just doing this for the money. Now on top of that, you have women like this, women like this, and who've made these kind of statements, which is crazy to me, right? We have in a week that ended up being chock full of developments in the Deshaun Watson situation, included news that Houston spa owner has testified that Watson paid her $5,000 because he's a nice guy. Attorney Rusty Hardin, who has become very vocal in recent days, explained the payment comments to Brent Schoberger of the USA Today, right? Okay. And then on top of that, another thing that we got, the attorney Leah Graham echoed the sentiment of Schoner, is that he was very surprised. He was very inspired to help Black businesses, Graham said. That's one example of numerous contributions. Numerous contributions he made to various Black businesses around Houston. At least 3 of the plaintiffs worked for and were associated with Dion Lewis. So 3 of the people who actually were bringing these allegations worked for Dion Lewis, and Dion Lewis got $5,000, right? But what they're trying to say is, because Dion invoked the 5th Amendment, they're trying to say that Dion invoked the 5th Amendment and won't speak because she was paid off the $5,000. Now, she was paid the $5,000 before anything even came to light, right? And he was always helping Houston businesses.
I mean, Mod, I hear you trying to make this case for him, bro, but I'm telling you right now, Roger Goodell about to stroke that boy. Roger Goodell is about to stroke that boy, man.
What grounds does he have? Go ahead, Tate.
Go ahead, Tate. I know he's riding with me, but I know what he's going to say.
I'm more in Big G corner than on my corner. I just heard everything Mod said, and I just heard Charlie Brown talk. Won't.
Exactly.
Because what's going to happen, and we talked about this, Mod. I mean, it ain't even about a criminal case or criminal charges. He's been cleared of all criminal charges, but what he's not being cleared of is having 24 different women say that this guy has, he's being accused of some type of sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, something in those neighborhoods on all 24 of these different women. And like you said, you making the case for a criminal case. Not at all. He's not guilty of any of that stuff. But we talk about the Shield. You talk about the Shield. We talk about the public opinion. And you bring that kind of bad pub, and in today's climate and culture, the Me Too, we talked about this. He gonna get strong. I don't think it's gonna be the whole season. I got 8 games, but he gonna get something. And if Roger Goodell gets the arbitrator say, oh, what's some of the 2 games? Goodell coming in with that big hammer.
Yeah.
Add 6 to it, 8 games minimum.
Yeah.
Nah,
Roger Goodell rules the NFL with an iron fist, man.
You can say
And
that, right?
He
say
rules
that?
it because he works for the owners.
Right.
Correct.
But here's the thing. Robert Kraft working for the owners. We forget Robert Kraft got caught doing some of the same stuff. We forget Jerry Jones got caught doing the same stuff. Listen, what I'm trying to tell you is
they the owners. Roger Goodell worked for them.
if he worked for the owners, I'm telling you, the owners, the only owner that's upset with Deshaun Watson at this moment is Houston. That's the only owner.
Let me tell you.
And he doesn't have any weight. He doesn't have any weight inside of that owner's organization, right?
Let me tell you about 15 other owners that'll be extremely happy. Matter of fact, I can tell you about 17 other owners that'll be extremely happy if Deshaun Watson doesn't play in the 2022-2023 season. Starting in our division, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Be happy, Sean.
Yeah, they would.
You've already said, Big G. Listen, you've said this out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson on the Cleveland Browns is what?
Dangerous.
You said must-see TV was your words exactly.
Correct.
And what is that equal to?
Right, but that don't matter. That doesn't matter, man. That doesn't matter. They got teams right now that want to win every game they play. And with Deshaun Watson on the sideline, guarantees them with wins to win, the games to win. And I'm saying right now that they're going to stroke that boy.
Hey, Big G, I got to agree with Ma that is money. You know, Deshaun Watson playing in some of those big game stuff, that's definitely money. But you know what? What's not money is if a whole bunch of people decide not to watch NFL because you didn't punish Deshaun Watson with all these different allegations against him.
And that's what I'm trying to get to Mod. And that's what I'm trying to explain.
I hear everything.
Hear me out on this.
You're saying.
You're minimizing the power of protest. That's what you're minimizing. And we live in a day, in an era right now where the power of protest, NFL doesn't want no smoke with no boycotts, with nothing. They don't want no smoke, man. And Roger Goodell's going to make sure that the NFL ain't going to get no smoke. So if they try to lowball it and he goes in and like, okay, you're going to get 3 games over. I'm telling you right now,
did you see how they acted with Michael Vick and fighting dogs?
Yeah, they don't want
Let me help y'all with something. Let me help y'all with something. I'm not minimizing nothing. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, realistically, that I've told you, I have some friends who happen to be African-American who have stopped watching the NFL altogether because of protests. So I understand. And then if the protest was hit so hard that they allowed, you know, certain things on helmets and on the football field and, you know, on shoes. Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I totally get it, right? And and that's the NFL trying to play nice, right? That's the NFL trying to play nice. I get it. I'm not minimizing that at all. But what the players collective made sure that they were going to do was take a lot of Roger Goodell's power away. They did that. That's why they.
I don't agree with that.
Private arbitrator.
I don't agree with that because I believe personally that the NFL Players Association is a shell of what it actually should be. Because I've seen the NFL Players Association back up, especially taking this into fact that the NFL has a contract coming up next year that they need to sign long-term in order to not have no boycott or no strike. So I'm telling you right now, they'll start backpedaling and they'll sacrifice Deshaun to make sure that there's a thing on the tables between the ownership and the players come next season, bro. I'm telling you, Deshaun ain't greater than the Shield. He's not bigger than the Shield.
Listen, I don't know that Deshaun Watson, and I'm not going for him either way. You know what I mean? My whole thing is that when you look at everything and you start putting facts together and it just doesn't add up, you're getting contrasting stories, right? The only thing that you can get that really happened, that we know happened, is that there was an exchange, there was some money given, and there were services rendered. That's it.
You know what that's called? You know what that's called?
It's literally
Prostitution.
It's literally prostitution, right?
That's called prostitution.
That's literally prostitution, but it wasn't though, because it wasn't though, because if it was and it was done illegally, guess what, man? If it wasn't, it was done illegally, they would have had him on a criminal case on all of them. So in other words, it was consensual. This stuff here that was done consensual. They walked into it doing it. Civil case, it's the same type of civil case that was made for Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Old girl was trying to get money out of Kobe.
But prostitution is agreed upon by both consensual parties. That's why it's called prostitution. You have a party that pays for a service. So normally, in most cases, what happens is they slam both of them. Normally, the prostitute and what we call the street word, the John, they both catch cases. But in this particular case, because of how famous Deshaun is, he's catching some of the cases. But I'm telling you, this is beyond that. This is the fact of, see this thing right here? This is called the shield, bro. It stands for NFL. The NFL stands for not for long. If you screw up and you trying to mess with this player.
Not for losing, you know.
No,
they don't lose
not
much.
for long. It stands not for long.
No, but what I'm saying is it's not for losing. The NFL is not trying to lose, you know, when it comes down to that. And I mean, honestly, just to switch gears and to move from this, I just really think that it's not going to be what you guys think. I don't think it's going to be that severe, and I don't think it's going to be that harsh. I don't think the NFL is going to try to prove some proverbial point. I think, you know, at this point, he set out a whole year. They're gonna give him 4 to 6 games, and they're gonna move on from it. They're gonna move on from it.
You certainly came up, because a month ago you was like no games.
Well, when I started to think about, and then when his lawyer saying this kind of stuff, I mean, you know, he
already
reminding the audience
by that statement.
Happy endings, massages are not necessarily illegal. Come on, man. You need to get your lawyers tripping, man. Your lawyer's tripping. You need to get him off your case, man. Put a gag on your lawyer, man. It's bad. Yeah. You know. So news out of Ohio State. Ohio State Buckeyes. Mm-hmm. Your coach, Brian Day, gets together businessmen, coaches, alumni, puts them all in a private room. This just happened, and told them to keep these guys. He put the roster up to keep these guys. I need $18 million.
Yep.
The number, I thought the number was 13. What I heard, but okay.
The 13, 18. The number fluctuated. I heard 13. I did hear 18. I heard them both. So let's just say 13. Let's go with 13, right? So he said, hey, to keep these guys, that's $13 million. Mm-hmm. College football has now become a business. It's been a business before.
Been a business.
But now for the kids, it is a business. And let me ask y'all a couple of questions. I got to ask the Ohio State faithfuls a couple of questions. I'm going to ask each one of y'all different questions. So this one is for you, Tate. Do you think that that's accurate, being a receiver in Ohio State at these days and times, you're dang near automatically guaranteed a first, second round draft status? Do you think that that's a fair number or an accurate number, you know, moving forward for NIL money?
Well, I think it's fair, man. It's the cost of doing business. You got big programs. All he essentially did was get a lot of alumni and business owners in the Columbus area and stuff like that. Like, hey, collectively, we need $13 million to keep these kids. Y'all need to give them endorsement deals, give them, you know, let them come to your business and sign up for autograph signing shows. But he figured it out what each player is worth. And we know that it's $13 million. We need to be able to pay these kids to keep our program at the level that it is. And, you know, Texas going to do that. USC going to do that. Alabama going to do that. That's just the cost of doing business now with the NIL in today's culture. And they was doing that anyway. Just now they can come out and say it. They can come out and recruit these businesses and big money alum and say, hey, we need the bread. When they was doing it under the table before, now they can do it out front. You just hear it's been going on. You just hearing about it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, B-Dirt says NCAA football is the business that's finally paying its employees.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. G. So that's a great answer, Tate. And I got a little sidebar that I'm gonna come back to you with. G, let me ask you this. So if that's the cost of doing business, where do we draw the line at? We're in college football, where do we draw the line? If it's $13, if it's $13 million this year, it's probably going to be 20 next year. Where do we put a cap on this at in college football? Where do we put a cap on this at?
So I'm gonna say this and be perfectly clear, right? Perfectly clear, and that's a quote from Rick James. There should never be a cap on what they do for those kids. They should get paid every penny, every dollar, every nickel that they can get. Because for the last 60 years, the college football has been robbing kids for money left and right. And the thing is, you never know what's going to happen. A kid can be a superstar and have one injury and it's all over with. So these kids done put time, effort, energy, talent, resources, you name it, sacrifice to get where they got to get. Last I checked, Ohio State football stadium hold about
108.
Yeah, but on a Michigan game, about 120,000. They got about 120,000 in the stadium, right? So you look up in the stands, they there to see them kids. They ain't there to see no coach. They ain't there to see no alumni. They ain't there to see no booster club. They there to watch them kids play. So it's a multi-billion-dollar business. So if a kid can make 1, 2, 3 million, get all the bread, bruh. Get it from your freshman year to when you go pro to where you're
Big G. Big G. You're absolutely right. And what you said, you've been robbing these kids. What people don't realize, somebody go to a school, get a scholarship, everything gonna be good. They're gonna go there, play 4 years, go to the league. If you get hurt in their freshman year playing for that team, your scholarship is year to year.
Correct.
So you get hurt your freshman year, you just ass out of luck.
Correct.
Unless you going to a good school that values their reputation and say, we'll let you keep going to school and finish your degree. But outside of that, that don't always happen. Some of these kids get burnt.
Yeah. So years ago, I was really close friends with 2 Ohio State. Well, I can say it on air because they know I'm cool with them. 2 Ohio State wide receivers. I was really close with Reggie Germany and Kenyon Rambo years ago, right? I used to run a shoe store in Columbus. They came and see me. We hung out away from the shoe store. I got to spend time with Reggie Germany, Kenyon Rambo, Steve Bellisari, right? Steve Bellisari played quarterback. Kenyon and Reggie played wide receivers. Kenyon and Reggie were 5-star recruits for Ohio State. They was coming in behind some guys like Santonio Holmes, like Teddy Ginn Jr. They were coming behind Anthony Gonzalez. They were coming in right behind them. So they thought, okay, we're going to press, we're going to do all what we got to do. Those kids never won more than 8 games for the 2 years that they were there. That was the down years for Ohio State. Guess what? Kenyon Rambo was like a 7th-round draft pick by the Oakland Raiders that played like 1 season or 2 seasons. Reggie Germany was like a 4th-round or 5th-round draft pick by the St. Louis Rams. He played like 1 season or 2 seasons. They never had an opportunity to make that money, but they went every day, practiced, played, did everything they were supposed to. So I'm thinking about those kids when you're looking at now about the money. When you're recruited as a 4 or 5-star, they're coming to see whether or not you're a 4 or 5-star in that stadium and see you play against the Michigans, the Michigan States, the Indianas, the Purdues, the Minnesotas, the Notre Dames. They're coming to watch you show out. So get every nickel you can get because tomorrow ain't promised. And that's why I'm on these kids getting their money.
So, G, and then Tate, I got a question for you. So, G, when it comes down to it, you saying get every nickel. Well, what about kids like Spencer Rattler, who got this NIL deal and then they enter that transfer portal and go somewhere else? Now, everything was stripped, but he still got the car though. He still has the car from the dealership. So now
can I ask you a question? In the NFL, when you sign a contract, right? If you fulfill your contract obligations, can you go to another team?
Yeah.
In NFL, can you be traded while you're in the midst of a contract?
You absolutely can, but that's the NFL though.
We playing the same game. In the NFL and the NFL and NCAA is the same game, bro. It's the same game. So if a kid can go from one spot to another and be traded like a commodity, and if he can go from one spot to another to get his bread, man, I hope you see kids that transfer from school to school to school and get bread every time they go somewhere. I hope you see
it. B Dirt said Reggie Bush would have made $20 million. He made $30, $40 million.
He might have.
Him and Vince would have made so much money. Tate, here is my question, and this is a big question. Where does it end? Where does it stop? Do we have any, like, I mean, what about you, Zion Williamson in 8th grade was packing gyms out? Or think about the LeBron James as a freshman in high school packing gyms out. Now you got to think about this. Kids will be vetted on, I don't know if I give him that type of money, or if this kid comes to my university, I don't know if he's going to be able to handle this type of money, or, are they going to start paying these kids in high school and junior high now? I mean, where do we stop? Where do we cut this off at? Where there has to be some type of legislation on this thing, or we're going to start getting NIL all the way back to 8th grade.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, there certainly needs to be, and there will be, regulations put on NIL. They just haven't got to. It hasn't become messy enough yet, but it's getting messy. A few weeks ago we had Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher in the news arguing, and we got players, hitting the transfer portal and going other places, like the kid that Addison, the receiver from Pittsburgh, to go to USC, getting paid $3.5 million to go to USC. I mean, there has to be some type of regulations put on it. I don't think we pay high school athletes. I think it starts at the college level, which I think is fair. You know what I mean? Because you can have a star high school player that wouldn't amount to, anything really super good in college, at least at a Division I level. You can be at a small high school division and be really good, but not be good enough to get paid at the college level. So I don't think high schools and junior highs will be paying athletes. I think that
but you think about this. That's where we're headed, though, Tate. That's where we're headed with this NIL, because it's a wild, wild west.
It's going to be regulations. I said it's not now. I said it's messy now, but because it's messy now, there will be regulations. So I'm saying that part of it. But I also think these kids is getting it now, and they busting them over the head now because they getting the get back for all the years what Big G was talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think as recently as just 3 years ago, Big G. Remember Victor Benjamin, Ohio State?
Sure do.
5-star recruit.
5-star.
I think he went undrafted.
Undrafted.
Signed with the Giants. Never hasn't made it. Ain't made no big money. If he was getting NIL money to Ohio State when he is in school, he was really good. Won some games for Ohio State. Well, I remember the game against Penn State. JT Barrett hit him, and they won that game in Happy Valley. He would have a lot. He's deserving of a lot more money than he'll ever get.
Right. Correct. That one victory against Penn State, he probably made Ohio State $10 million just off the one catch, running across the middle, scoring on a 62-yard touchdown to save the game for the Buckeyes. He propelled Ohio State. I think, did they go to the Final Four that year? I think they went to the Final Four that year.
They went to the playoffs, but They won the Big Ten that year.
Yeah, he saved the season. So, but to your point, Tate, and your point, Mon, I really do believe they should pay high school kids. And the reason why I think that they should pay them is because you got schools like IMG Academy, where the tuition of IMG Academy is $105,421 a year. Total tuition.
But Big G,
you got stadiums. Go ahead.
Don't you think the payment for that is the scholarship to those schools?
Absolutely
I mean,
not, because
the scholarship to the school and the platform.
No, because you got other high schools. I lived in Texas for years. I saw high school football stadiums in Texas, and I'm telling you straight up, I saw them with my own eyes. Hold 30, 40, 50,000 people in a standing room only. And they're there to see one or two kids. If you got a high school, they said they got 50,000 in the stands and there ain't no seats, and they coming to see one kid. How much money you think they made off that kid right then and there? Off the one kid to play quarterback. My reference Vince Young. I can tell you about Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, heck, Garrett Ewers. Dudes that just recently came through, and it was standing room only to see those kids, man. So I think that the high school kids should, if you get that money. Get that money. Quinn Ewers. Yep.
That goes back as far as we remember. We was in school together when Jim Jackson was coming to the school, and Greg Simpson played at our school, and we talk about Mr. Basketballs packing them in every single game night. I mean,
listen. It's a state championship game in 1992 that Greg Simpson and them went to, bro. That's when they played in the Schottenstein. It was standing room only in the semifinals and the final game. Greg Simpson hit a 62-foot jump shot and sent the semifinal game in overtime. I've never felt the Schottenstein should have shaken the way it shook.
McKinley, right?
Yes, I was there, and the stadium shook. That's how loud it was.
My question is, where's the love of this game? Where does the love of the game come in? We were honestly going getting out, riding our bikes to the swimming pool, and then after that we go to the court and hoop, or we go to the gym and work out. That was just, we did it because we loved it. You know what I mean? So where the love of the game is out now, if I can make bread in high school, it's gone. What do I have to work for? I'm making bread in high school. I don't think, here's the thing. I don't think that kids in high school should get the opportunity to make money. I think they should be vetted their senior year. And then also, I think there needs not only legislation, I think there needs to be, some type of class for the people around them, so to be able to handle the deals that are coming and the money that they're about to receive, so that way this is used in the right way. I just don't. I'm not an advocate for you throwing money willy-nilly at a 17. Think about if you'd have had $1 million at 17. What were you doing? You ain't doing the most smart things with that money.
Can I give you an example of a player or a kid I'm talking about, right? Where I said he should have got the money, right? And a kid I played against. So in high school, all state running backs, my senior year of high school, was Robert Smith, Jeff Cothran, Clydell Passmore, and Ricky Powers. Ricky Powers went to the University of Michigan. Robert Smith from Euclid High School went to Ohio State University. Jeff Cothran from Middletown, Ohio, went to Ohio State University. You heard me say Clydell Passmore. He played tailback at Fairfield. The reason why you don't hear Clydell Passmore's name in the same conversation, the same sentence with them, is because the last game of the season, our senior year, Clydell Passmore broke his leg in 2 spots. Clydell Passmore didn't play no more football after our senior year of high school. So, but in high school, he was an all-state running back. He was unstoppable. Our whole team couldn't tackle him. He was like 5 foot. He was Jerome Bettis before he was Jerome Bettis. That's who he really was. And we couldn't stop him, but he never hurt him. So Clydell Passmore was selling Fairfield out, selling it out. And we went down there. We got our behinds handed to us our senior year down there. But Clydell didn't play no more football. So how come Clydell couldn't get that money? Because Ricky Powers got the money, Robert Smith got the money, Jeff Cothran got the money. How come Clydell couldn't get? He was just as good as him.
For your story, I mean, there's a kid that was at Hendrickson that blew his knee out, didn't even play his senior year. You know what I'm saying? And then he ended up going to Oklahoma, ended up being a part of the Cincinnati Bengals and going to the Super Bowl last year. That's P-Ron. You know what I'm saying?
Samaje, yeah.
Yeah. Also, you have another kid who hurt himself his junior year, didn't play his senior year, and then ended up going to Ohio State and ended up going to play for the Baltimore Ravens. J.K. Dobbins. It's possible, right? It's possible. And each one of these kids got money now because they're in the league, right? They're in the league. So I think yeah, the colleges should be vetted. And I mean the kids should be vetted when they get to college. And definitely we have to have some legislation. Switching gears, tonight we got the Boston Celtics versus the Golden State Warriors. Who we got, man? Who we got tonight, man? I first, before I even get to this, I had to pause because I had to remember this. B-Dirt said, I'm here to eat some Celtic crow. G and Tate got a close one right. I'm rooting for them against Golden State. Going to be a great series. All right, so B-Dirt, I got your comment in. You ate crow. You said you definitely couldn't believe it. You had to eat some Celtic crow. So who we got tonight and why? So talk to me. I'm going to start with you, G. Who we got tonight and why?
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be like 118, 114, 115. But I really do believe that Jason Tatum is going to show up and show out tonight. And I think that he puts himself in line to join Giannis if he's able to pull it out tonight and then go to Boston and win the series. However, I will say that Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green ain't going out without a fight. They're going to swing and fight tooth and nail every way. I didn't see the actual game, and I told Mod and Tate this. I had some things going on personally, and I missed the game, so I watched the game and rewind. And what I saw was in the fourth quarter, the Boston Celtics figured out how to stop the Golden State Warriors. They figured it out, and it was like, okay, we're going to play defense this way, and when we do, the pressure's going to be on them. And we're going to let Steph get his. Everybody else, nah, you ain't getting it, bro. So I really do like Boston. I think Boston's going to win the chip. I really do believe, and I do believe that Tatum has an opportunity to run with Giannis and get his name in them youngsters as one of these ones you got to watch because he's really that guy.
All right. Who you got tonight, Tate, and why?
Man, I already said it in the opening, man. I told you what it was. Boston gonna take it, and Big G, what he said is kind of right. Steph Curry got his in the first quarter. I don't think they let him get his. I think it was just defensive breakdown.
Yeah.
But as you transition to the fourth quarter defensively, what they had learned, what they had decided to do by then is make Draymond Green and Iguodala when he was in there be scorers. And those guys aren't scorers, so
right.
They put Marcus Smart on Draymond Green, and that allowed Marcus Smart the ability to roam and jump and double the ball if Steph got it, if Klay got it, because you can play off Draymond Green, right? So good what do you call it? Adjustments, coaching adjustments made by Udoka. I think offensively, the problem is Golden State don't have any shot blockers. So if you notice, anytime Tatum or Brown was going to the lane, Golden State collapsed. They collapsed the defense. That's why Tatum kicked it out and got 13 assists. And their lack of shot blocking is what makes them have to drop down and double in the lane. And Boston, Golden State ain't got no answer for that since the game the other day. And I really anticipate it being a tight game today. G say, they're going to fight. They are going to fight, but I really think Draymond Green is washed. I think he washed. He's a good player, but he washed. Steph and Klay are great shooters, but you can't count on Klay. Klay can give you 8 3-pointers one game, like every fourth game so far in the playoffs. That's when he get it in like that. So, but you can't count on it. And Jordan Poole's a defensive liability. If you get a little physical with him, like White or Smart or somebody you do, he gets shook. So
yeah,
I really don't think it's as close as what we saying. It's gonna be a close game tonight because it's in San Francisco, in Golden State. But I got Boston taking this whole thing 4-2, man. And like G said, Jason Tatum. I mean, look at Boston's gauntlet. KD and Kyrie, Giannis, Miami Heat. You was big on Miami Heat. And then if you go through Steph and the Warriors,
yeah,
man, you got Jason Tatum jump to top 3. I was having a conversation with my brother early Saturday morning. We were just up. We was talking. And top 3 players in the NBA, Giannis, Luka, Jason Tatum, right now.
Oh, over Joker?
Right now.
Oh,
well,
over the Joker, the 2-time MVP Joker.
Hey man, Joker's a good offensive player like Luka, man. But you got people like Giannis and JT go both ways, bro.
I mean, I say Giannis, Joker, and JT. I don't have Luka there because Joker got 2 MVPs, and JT looked like he going to get him a chip. And Giannis got a chip and MVP.
Man, let me tell you something. If Luka ain't in your top 5, something wrong with you.
I said top 3.
Hey,
I
got to show y'all this.
What is that?
That's JT. That's JT walking in the game with the hoodie with Kobe in his trophy and MJ in his trophy. On both sides.
You saw JT had on the Kobe wristband in the game 7. He was ready. He locked and loaded. You know what I'm saying? Listen.
I like that kid, man.
Yeah.
I love Jason Tatum. I think he's a baller, right? I really like Brown. I think Brown is a baller. You know what I mean? I think the key to this series is Al Horford.
Oh my God.
He's the key.
I called it out for game 7. Tate, remember I said if Al Horford does A, B, C, and D, and then now this first game, he killed him in game 1. Al Horford is a monster, man.
The key to the series is Al Horford. If he can score like that, and B-Dirt said it laughingly, he said if Boston gets 26 from Horford, they can't lose. I'm just gonna be real with you. If they get 17, 8, 17, 10 from they're unbeatable.
That's right. They don't need that because Al Horford had an exceptional game.
Exactly.
But Jason Tatum ain't gonna play bad like he just did. So
correct.
bring Al Horford back 10 points. Now he got 16. Put Jason Tatum up 18 points.
Yeah.
It's a net gain.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If he just gets 17, 16, 17, it's a wrap. You know,
he don't even need that. 12-7, and 5 out of Al Horford with Tatum and Brown going off. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, man.
And they didn't get nothing from
White. That's what I was about to say.
White had like 20 points.
Did he have 20?
Yeah. White had 20, Horford had 20, and Brown had 20 something.
Yeah.
But the Williams kid, they come off the bench, not Robert Williams,
nothing.
The other one.
Yeah.
He had 0 points.
They didn't get nothing.
Right.
And he had been carrying them in the playoffs. He had been carrying.
He had 6 3-pointers one game himself.
Sure did.
Maybe it was 7. That against
Miami?
Milwaukee. That was Milwaukee.
No, game 7. Milwaukee game 7.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you know, man. To me, that's who the key is. That's who. If you can get good games out of Al Horford, it's a wrap. Because I have to agree with Tate on this one, and maybe it's my disdain for him that make it even look worse to me. But Draymond Green is out of here, man. Draymond Green out of here, man. He looked like your drunk uncle that played at the family reunion who out there fouling everybody, just pulling everybody down, then looking around. A foul? What was that? In my day, that wasn't no foul. You know what I mean? Literally.
Let me ask you this. Golden State Golden State, you gotta make a decision. Do you keep Draymond Green and bring him back, or do you bring back Andrew Wiggins?
Bring back Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Draymond Green is expendable at this point. They got them young boys, Kuminga and Moody and Wiseman, all on the bench. You know, your young gunners. Draymond Green is expendable. I mean, he been the heartbeat and all that at Golden State, but nah, Steph and Clay, they gonna keep you can kind of let Draymond go on about his business and go to Sacramento and go with Mike Brown.
I'm gonna tell you, Draymond is due a game where he get threw out. I just want y'all to know he's due a throw-out game.
I wouldn't be shocked if Golden State trades Clay too. I wouldn't be shocked because you can get value for Clay right now. Trading.
Yeah, because they got to try and keep Jordan Poole.
That's right. Yep, I can see Draymond and Clay off the team and them getting a. Could you see them trading Draymond and Clay to the Lakers? and get Davis. Get Anthony. We want Anthony Davis. We're gonna give y'all a draft pick, Draymond and Clay. There you go. Come on, Anthony Davis. We'll get him. They're gonna do something like that. They're gonna break it up. They're gonna or trade Draymond and Clay with a draft pick and send it to Washington. Come on, Bradley Beal. Come on. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get you over here.
Yeah, I can see that, and it's about the cooker about to get cooking as far as the NBA free agents. All that stuff start like the first week of July. So we're about what 3 weeks away.
Yeah, we're about 3 weeks away. It's about to get it popping. It's about to get popping. So last but not least, man, give me your parting shots, man. Tate, I need a parting shot, man. Give me a parting shot for tonight,
man. I never really think of no parting shots, man. I say everything I want to say during the show, but since you give me the microphone, man, give me the platform. Again, I'm just gonna double down on the Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum because I've told a lot of people I got this. I ain't gonna get into that. This dude is always talking, man. He always want to bet on the favorites. Dude, I know Jenkins, you know who you is. But I just got Boston Celtics, man, winning tonight. It's an hour. I think the game started at 8:30 tonight, so we got an hour and a half. I'm about to go hook me up a little bit of food to get in front of the TV and get ready to watch the game, man. I enjoyed hollering you fellas this week. Thanks for joining me on the BTSC, man. You dropped a lot of knowledge. Really appreciate it. And you plugged us real good, man. You plugged us real good. So thanks for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. G, give us a parting shot, man.
My parting shot is football season can't get here fast enough. I mean, I love all other sports. I love baseball. I love golf. I love it all, MMA. But, man, this football season, both college and pro, is going to be something to watch. I just can't wait. And they're going to kick it right out the box. First week in the NFL, first week of college football is must-see TV. So for all those of y'all that are sports fans, y'all might as well get ready to take a couple of days off. Because I promise you, I'm not moving away from my TV set for those days. I'm sitting right there. I ain't missing none of it. For real, for real.
So listen, my parting shot goes to Haney Cambasos. Cambasos, I guess I think that's how you say his name. He took a whole bunch of jabs to the face, and Haney whooped that man. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm starting to watch boxing and enjoy it again, man. It's funny. He was beating him so bad at one point. I thought he should kick or sweep his feet or something. Do something MMA related because he was just eating. He ate 1,000 jabs. Haney was just jabbing his lip. Yep, just jabbing him, man. I mean, I ain't never seen. I mean, for real, it looked like he really did take a whole bunch of jabs to the face. I'm enjoying boxing again, you guys, and I think I'm just your take. I got something brewing this week for G's take on an American heavyweight champion, and that's why we don't have the interest in boxing. But I will say the athletes are still there, man. I just want to say the athletes are still there in boxing the way that they've always been. I just think that because we don't have an American heavyweight, there's not a lot of press or pub given to boxing right now, So definitely, I'll give you that as a know-it-all.
Can I say something real quick? Big G.
Absolutely.
You remember we talked about last week. We used to always play basketball at my crib back in the day.
Yeah.
You remember we used to use the backs of basketball court as a boxing ring. Remember we used to box too?
Yeah.
I had two nice pair of gloves, and we used to get it in on like just
I done see some
kids
vicious
boxing.
things
It was
go
crazy.
down. I done see some vicious things go down back there at Tate Yard. I'm gonna leave some folks' names, but I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna tell no names, but I done seen dudes knock girls out. I done seen girls knock out dudes. I done seen dudes just get like whooped for real. Like they took all their frustration and punishment out on a person. I seen it go from a boxing exhibition to somebody getting their feelings hurt real bad.
A real fight. a real fight. Yeah, I mean I think in any neighborhood, if there was a neighborhood, a real hood, you had a kid who had boxing gloves, 2 sets at the house. And the thing that really, and I have this a sidebar, and I'm gonna tell the story and I'm gonna let it go. Is 2 6'9" twins named Stephen and Frank Brown. 6'9". And we were sophomores in high school. We would go do the figure 8 drill, and that was important because the way that we did it, we at Abilene High, definitely in some of my watchers, they know I'm telling the truth. At Abilene High, we had no offense. What we ran was a press, full court press. When you were tired, you got to the bench. That's what that was. We wouldn't run no offense. Our offense was the press because we were getting layups the whole time. So with the figure 8, what you had to do is 3 passes, layup. 3 passes, layup. Well, Steve and Frank was 6'9", and they would always mess up. So they felt like they wanted to go box. So Steve and Frank got some boxing gloves, and because they would miss layups, and we would have to run because of. We would love to go to Steve and Frank's house to beat Steve and Frank up with their own gloves to get back because we had so much frustration built up in us for running. So with Tate, when you talk about pulling the gloves out, and G, when you talk about the fights that went down, I can remember Rodney Rayford dropped Steve and Frank, both of them, with body blows. They were trying to hit him out with jabs. He caught him with a body blow and dropped them to their knees, and it was over with. Hey, literally, you don't play with the boxing gloves.
I can't tell no names, but I'm telling you, I done seen some vicious stuff go down in Tate's backyard, bro.
I'll say this. I boxed all the time. I really remember losing 2 times. Mike West caught me one time. Mike West just came up under, like real scary, like hit me right flush in my nose, dropped me. He didn't win, but he dropped me. And then one day, you remember Ryan Kuntz? Ryan was long and quick. Ryan just got out on me, man. I couldn't even touch Ryan. Yeah. But, so I'll probably say I was about 40-2 in my career back then, man.
Backyard boxing.
Right.
40-2?
Yeah.
40-2?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen. I only put them on once. I ain't lose. That was it. I realized, no. I had to say that. I realized I'm not just going to sit up and let you hit me, man. It's just not one of them things. And boxing just didn't thrill me like that because at some point I'm going to get real mad and the gloves got to come off, So it's like, I couldn't do it. I wasn't for it. But listen, you guys, I thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure that, definitely if you like the content, make sure you like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. We got through the whole program without giving Big G a burner. He didn't have a burner. Wow. That's the
I
first
promise
week.
the people on BTSC you could come here, Big G, say some outlandish stuff. And you didn't give it to him today, Big G.
He didn't give us not one Big G burner. Not one.
Because my stuff made sense. Even as far as them boys in high school getting their bread. Get their money, man. Get their money.
Listen, today, no burners, man. I mean, that to me is just like I have to say this. Wow. Because we didn't get a Big G burner. I have to say wow. But definitely, you guys, thanks for hanging out. We'll catch up with you guys next week. Peace.